Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Thursday afternoon. As you probably know, we have one of our favorite cruise line reps with us named Abe. Hello, Abe. Thanks for stopping by the office here just around the corner from me.
Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. It's great to be here and seeing everybody in person.
I know. Well, we appreciate you being here. I know you're giving some in-person seminars today, but we also wanted to touch the folks that maybe you don't feel as comfortable coming out. So here we are with a nice fancy webinar. So with that, thanks for being here, and I will let you take it away.
Thank you very much, Kim, and a very good morning, maybe afternoon if you happen to be on a different time zone. And great to be here physically. Great to have you on this webinar. My name is Abe Hughes. I'm a strategic account manager locally here in Kansas City, just live right down the road. And for almost just over 18 years now, wow, have been with Royal Caribbean and the Royal Caribbean family. The majority of time, I've been a cruise director on board our ships, but changed over to the sales team locally here in the Midwest about 2 years ago after my wife and I had a baby. And we are now two babies into this growing family and just loving it because I tell you, not just being here in the Midwest in Kansas City, which we call home, but also working for the company that I love and just simply talking about cruising. And so today we wanted to talk about what's new at Royal Caribbean. Also wanted to cover, because I know we have a lot of our Crown and Anchor Society guests, those that have cruised many, many times before. Some have cruised, but maybe not with Royal Caribbean, and we will soon get you part of the family. But also wanted to talk to you a little bit more on a destination-centric presentation versus just all of the Broadway shows and the flow rider and skydiving simulators and the features on board our ships, but also talking about a little bit more on the destination that we're going to as well. So first and foremost, the best thing that I could possibly say is adventure is back. After a very long absence due to COVID, we are back to sailing. As a matter of fact, we've been sailing for nearly a year. In November, just next month, the Quantum of the Seas was the first cruise ships to begin sailing. So she's coming up on a year already sailing. And for North American guests, we started sailing back in June. So we've had actually several months already. We are quickly approaching about 1 million guests on board our ships and all satisfied and enjoying themselves along the way. And so first and foremost, I wanted to talk a little bit about our processes, simply because let's talk about the elephant in the room, cruising in a post-COVID world, or I should say living with COVID. So the steps that we're taking. Number one, first and foremost, we want to make sure that our ships are safer than Main Street USA, safer than going into the Hy-Vee or the Price Chopper, safer than going into any hotel, resort, casino, you name it along the way. Because what some people would think of it as a negative when it comes to cruise ships, we find the positive in it, simply because we have this proverbial bubble that we're able to control the environment, which is super, super important. So the number one thing we want to do is make sure that we keep the virus off of the ship. We do that in a number of different ways. Number one, all of our crew members are 100% vaccinated from COVID-19. At this particular time, and things do change and are subject to change for the future, but those that are qualified to be vaccinated, we are asking for that, not just for government regulations here in the United States, but also all of the countries that we're visiting. Because if we're going into the Bahamas or going into Spain and going into Barbados and all the various places that we're sailing, those governments are asking for our guests and crew to also be vaccinated. There are still options out there for kids because we are a family cruise line, of course, and that's where the travel counselors here at Cruise Holidays will be able to help guide you on what ship is going to be the best for them. Along with that, we want to mitigate the opportunity for the virus to even come on board the ship. So not just are the guests and the crew all vaccinated, but also we are asking a negative COVID test prior to coming on board the ship. So that's number one. We just don't want the thing on board the ship. But if it does happen to creep on, well, what's going to happen? Because it does happen. We have to live with this. And out of the hundreds of thousands of people that we have sailed so far, there's been some cases, not a lot, nothing that's made the news, because our processes and our protocols work and they are in place for the good. So number one, 100% fresh filtered air. Every stateroom, every public venue, all the way across the board is 100% fresh ocean air. It helps you sleep a little better at night as well. But just the way that the ships are designed is far more stringent than a standard building or resort that's out there because of the way that ships are built. I don't want to geek out here to talk too much about it, but if you ever Googled how a ship is built, it's built like Lego, block by block by block. Every stateroom has its air source. Every public venue has its air source, and a huge circulation of air gives you fresh filtered air. In the staterooms alone, I think it's 5 to 6 times per hour. So basically oh, sorry, I got that wrong. 5 to 6, it's 5 to 6 minutes it turns over. It's like every 12 times per hour, you get 100% fresh filtered air. It's even higher rate in our public spaces and public venues because of our air filtration system. So that's number one. Of course, the medical grade cleaning standards. Everybody that's cruised before knows that it's a very, very clean environment to be in. We've upgraded all of our medical facilities. We've even added our staff with additional doctors, nurses, and things like that. But the most important thing in what most of the feedback has been is the safe, timely return home in any scenario. In the beginning of COVID, especially, so many of our loyal Crown and Anchor guests, the feedback was, we want to come and cruise. We just don't want to get stuck on a ship for 14 days because we all remember what happened in early 2020 with several a couple of cruises had 1,000 people stuck on the ship for 14 days. They couldn't get on. They couldn't get off. It was a total disaster. To be fair, nobody knew what the heck was going on in early 2020. Nobody knew what to do and how to react and so on. So we've learned so much from that. So if there is a particular case that comes on board, number one, we want to make sure that those that are affected are well taken care of. And if that takes a private plane and a private jet home to Kansas City to get the care that you need, that's what happens. Otherwise, everyone else continues to go about enjoying their cruise, returning home, and you're not going to be stuck out at sea. So don't worry about that. All right. I can also, if you have any questions, I think there might be a question box. We can field those towards the end. But I don't want to dig into this as much because we have some fun things that we want to talk about here today. Talking about Royal Caribbean and our ships. Of course, we are known for the largest, most innovative, technically advanced, environmentally friendly cruise ships in the entire world. It all starts with the largest of them all, the biggest, the best, the most dynamic when it comes to entertainment and guest activities and food and service and everything across the board. That's our Oasis class ships. There are 5 of them in total. The Wonder of the Seas, some of you may not know what that ship is because it's brand new. It actually starts next March, so you yourself can be sailing on Wonder of the Seas as a brand new ship. So these 5 ships themselves, they are truly remarkable. And the best thing about an Oasis class ship is simply the plethora of activities and amenities are available for every generation of cruiser. Royal Caribbean's always been known as the leader in multi-generational travel. If it's the kids, the grandkids, grandparents, everybody cruising together, there's something to do for everyone. And these Oasis class ships are sort of where it begins. Not only does it have, the main dining rooms and the Royal Theater for Broadway shows and guest entertainers and whatnot, but there's also venues like ice skating rinks. This is a photo shot of the Aqua Theater, the largest and only outdoor aquatic amphitheater at sea. And every night there are these dazzling water performances with high divers and synchronized swimmers and a combination of technology and art combining into a smorgasbord of incredible entertainment. So this is a little shot of the Aqua Theater itself. There's Central Park. This is giving you an idea of the style of ship it is. This is right in the heart of the ship. You look up and you are underneath the Caribbean stars. You are surrounded by 17,000 living, breathing plants and trees in this beautiful area. And there's even balcony staterooms that look into Central Park for you to enjoy. And then, of course, there's the ocean view balcony staterooms on the outside looking out to the ocean. So lots of variety and lots of amenities that are on these ships. But like I said, today we want to talk a bit more about some destinations along the way. But continuing on with some ships, we have our Radiance class. These are the smaller, more boutique style ships sailing to very exotic destinations. You're seeing Radiance of the Seas here. That's at Hubbard Glacier up in Alaska. Brilliance of the Seas, Serenade, and Jewel of the Seas. Again, these are smaller, more intimate cruises, about 2,000 passengers total, although right now they're sailing about 50%, so you kind of have the ship to yourself. These ships themselves, like I said, are designed for scenic cruising along the way. And actually, just a quick little note, I don't even have a slide for this, but Serenade of the Seas just yesterday announced a 274-day round-the-world cruise. That's right. If you want to see all 7 continents, you can do so on one single cruise. So that's Serenade of the Seas on that one. But also wanted to talk about all of the ships in between with our Royal Amplified program. So our Voyager class and our Freedom class ships, these are true staples and the backbones of our cruise industry. And these ships themselves are beautiful in itself, but just wanted to make a special note that over the last about 5 years or so, we've made a significant investment into all of these ships, adding the features and the amenities that you, your guests, love and enjoy, and what many would expect from a larger Oasis class ship. You have them on these smaller ships with the Flow Rider surf simulators, water slides, as well as, of course, all the upgraded amenities, the restaurants, the specialty dining, all the features that people love about Royal Caribbean ships are on literally all of our ships around the fleet. Things like the pool deck is an example. They've rebranded these bright, colorful Caribbean attire. You'll see these beautiful metal palm trees with day beds and cabanas throughout the entire pool deck. They branded the ship the lime and coconut up on the pool deck, where, back when I first started cruising, many of you as well, there would be like one night Caribbean themed up on deck where we'd roll out a big buffet and have some Caribbean line dances and things like that, a big dancing under the stars party. But now it's really changed, and even at night, every single night, there's a place at the Lime and Coconut to go and enjoy and relax, and these are just the best areas to cruise when you're island hopping throughout the Caribbean. But also just one last note is the solarium. This is an adults-only area on all of our ships. We have a solarium, which is adults-only, crystal canopy, beautiful area for the adults to enjoy. But no matter what ship that you're on, you're always going to be able to expect these staples and what the lifestyle is like on Royal Caribbean. We have, of course, our entertainment and signature activities, second to none. There's no other cruise line that has as many opportunities and accessible activities and entertainment options. We're the only cruise line that has entertainment in what we call all 5 mediums. We have it on the stage, we have it on ice, we have it in the air, we have it in the water, and we even have the technology factor as well with robotics and drones that are flying on our ships. They're amazing. Signature activities, of course, dining is always a feature when it comes to cruises, both complimentary and specialty dining opportunities. The lounges and nightlife are second to none with live music absolutely everywhere around the ship. Our teen program and our kids program is really the gold standard in the cruise industry. I'll say basically every cruise line that's out there has modeled their program or tried to model their program after our Adventure Ocean program from 6 months all the way through to the teenagers. Spa and fitness for the relaxation, next generation accommodations, beautiful staterooms from solo staterooms, just if you're traveling on your own, all the way up to 16, 18 passenger 4-bedroom villa suites if you really love your family and you all want to stay in the same room. We'll take you to private destinations I'll talk about in a second. Our pools and outdoor amenities are phenomenal with all the activities up on deck under the sun. But the one thing about our ships, no matter the incredible Broadway shows and the dining and the accommodations and the ships and the awe and the wonder of Royal Caribbean, the one thing that everybody talks about at the end of the cruise and what they all love is the unsurpassed service. It's the crew members that make the overall vacation experience such an amazing one. And that's what everybody goes home talking about is really the crew. All the other features are a bonus, but I tell you, the crew is really what makes the ship truly, truly special. But let's talk about the destinations that we go to. The Caribbean itself is where we start. Caribbean is in our name. It is our DNA. There is no better line out there for Caribbean adventures. And we go to all the hot spots. We go to all the favorites, all the Cozumel, Mexico, St. Thomas, St. Martin, St. Lucia, all the saints. We go everywhere. But instead of diving into the individual ports that many cruise lines go to, I wanted to feature 2 destinations that is only on Royal Caribbean. One of them is Labadee. It is our private destination on the north coast of the island of Hispaniola. That's Haiti, by the way. We've been going there since 1986. And essentially, if you look at this little picture here, if you can walk the length of the ship, you're on a beach. It's an extension of the ship. So as you are in port, we have all of these beautiful white sand beaches and the beautiful Caribbean water, the beach chairs, the umbrellas. We even bring out a Caribbean barbecue to you, so you don't have to return to the ship to get any to have lunch. We bring it to you. There are adventures galore, whether or not you want to relax in the shade in a hammock, or you want to head up on top. This is a view from the Dragon's Breath flight line. It is the longest in the world zip line over water. There are, the thriller power boats and parasailing, or you can just get a massage on the beach in a nice, relaxing manner. So it's a little bit of everything along the way. And then there is Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and I know you've seen commercials for this for this island. It's in the Bahamas, and we've been going to Coco Cay since 1988. But Coco Cay itself used to be just literally a sandbar in the Bahamas. You used to have to tender in, and there was just a beach is all it was. Well, we made a significant investment back in 2018 and 2019 in order to open up Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And as you can see, and if you've seen the commercials, it is just loaded with destinations of fun. And when it comes to the island itself, you sort of lump it into 2 different categories. Do you like to chill, or do you like to thrill? From the chill side, there are multiple beaches, cabanas, relaxation, again, an extension of the ship where all the beach chairs and umbrellas are there for you at no charge. There is the Oasis Lagoon, which is the largest freshwater swimming pool in all of the Caribbean. Float up bars, relaxation galore if you just want to chill and enjoy your own private island. Or there's the thrill aspect of it, with Thrill Water Park, with the tallest water slides in North America. There's 20-some water slides in total there in the Thrill Water Park. There's zip lining. There's up, and away. It's a helium balloon that takes you gently 300 feet above the island. It's tethered, so you're not going to float away to Turks and Caicos or anything. But it's a tethered spot, and it is the highest vantage point in all of the Bahamas. Beautiful, beautiful thrills along the way. So there's something in there for everybody there at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Switching pages, because our name is Royal Caribbean, but we go far beyond the Caribbean, and we've been a leader in that in so many different areas. European adventures, to me, are one of the best ways to see all of these historic ports of call. And when it comes to discovering Europe, there's a few benefits to you. Number one, it is where old world charm meets new world travel, because when it comes to traveling Europe, it can be very exhausting. Going in and out, destination to destination, whether it's by train, bus, or flight, checking into hotels, checking out of hotels, that in itself is going to carve up days out of your vacation time. But you basically come on the ship, you unpack once. Every morning you wake up in a different country, and many of these itineraries themselves, the cities themselves that we go to, the ports, you really only need about 1 day to see. I've been there many times. You don't necessarily need more than a day for Naples, Italy, or more than a day to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You go there, you take your pictures, you're there, you really embrace the environment and the culture that you're in, and then you move on to the next port of call and the next port of call. There are some cities out there in Europe that you want to spend multiple days in. Barcelona, Venice, Rome, Athens. You want to spend multiple days in Amsterdam and things like that. Well, those are what we call our home ports. That's where you get on the ship and off of the ship to start and end your cruise. So those home ports, that's where you stay an extra day or two. And the folks here at Cruise Holidays, they're the ones to be able to plan that accordingly. So you unpack once. It's amazing for families. Every night you get on board, you have the show, you've got a dinner, a menu that you don't have to translate, and you wake up the next morning and you're in a new country, essentially. So when it comes to Europe, there's various ways to travel Europe. One, of course, that keeps top of mind is the Mediterranean. It's the most popular cruising destination in Europe, where you cruise the Amalfi Coast of Italy, and you go into Croatia and Greece and the Greek Isles, Montenegro, and all of these various areas throughout the Mediterranean, both Eastern and Western Mediterranean. And then there's also the Northern European cruises and the Baltic. These are going into the Baltic states such as Sweden, Norway, Estonia, Denmark, and Iceland, and all of these incredibly historic areas. And these Northern European cruises, virtually all of them, will include an overnight stay, if not two stays, in St. Petersburg, Russia. So you have that opportunity to go and enjoy all the history of Northern Europe. These are some of my favorites that's there. Another one, there's no slides necessarily on this screen, but another part of Northern Europe, which is truly amazing, is the British Isles cruises. This is sailing out of Amsterdam, and you go and cruise all around England, going into England, Scotland, Wales. You go to Northern Ireland, overnight in Dublin, Ireland. You got to go to the pub if you're going to do that, or multiple pubs in my case. But anyway, continuing on swiftly, there is such great adventure when it comes to Northern Europe. And then, of course, there's the Holy Land cruises. These are deep, meaningful cruises that we're able to take you all throughout these historic ports of call. And you really want to do your history lessons before you even get on the cruise. So you're really able to take it all in. And to give you an idea, a sample itinerary, leaving from Rome, Italy, sailing through, to Sicily, to Jerusalem, Haifa, Israel, going to Cyprus, Rhodes, Kusadasi in Athens, going to Naples and Capri in Italy, and back to Rome. I mean, these are historic and truly bucket list destinations. And these are so important that actually one of our brand new ships is going to be sailing these Holy Land cruises for next summer. So contact your Cruise Holidays team. It's Odyssey of the Seas. It's a brand new ship, and we'll be sailing out of Rome to these bucket list destinations. Going down under the southern hemisphere, Australian adventures. We have cruises that go to New Zealand and the South Pacific that go, sailing from Sydney or sailing from Brisbane. There's even some that go all the way around, circumnavigate all of Australia. But that's about 30 days, but certainly doable. But these are great spots, and especially if you're going to Australia, you might be looking at the list going, oh, these are, 8 night, 10, 11 night cruises. You might want to spend a couple days just from the travel time and destination time to get there. But you do a couple of days before and a couple of days after in Sydney, you hop on a ship, you go over to New Zealand, you see where the Lord of the Rings was filmed and all these beautiful, really picturesque areas. It's it's on the to-do list for sure. Exotic adventures really are going to take you from one spot to the next. So if you were to look at, actually on the last slide, we had Ovation, Radiance, and Quantum. On this slide, we have Honolulu to Sydney. These are the cruises as they're making their way from Alaska over to Australia. So they're split into two different ones. There's Honolulu to Sydney, and then there's also Vancouver to Honolulu. So you can get on a ship essentially in Vancouver, cruise to Hawaii, sail around the islands there, and then you can go back and go from Honolulu on to Sydney. So you can actually spend almost a month on board the ship and go into, French Polynesia and Fiji and all these beautiful exotic islands along the way. So going on, Alaska, this is a huge market. And, the biggest thing about Alaska, I wanted to make sure everybody knows and realizes, Alaska used to be, keyword used to be, a a destination that you go for your 50th wedding anniversary. That's it. You go there once and you call it. Not anymore, folks. Alaska is very much for families. Alaska is very much for multi-generational travel. Think about, if you live here in the Midwest, if you're here in Kansas City, think about the days that we had in July and August, the dog days of summer where it's 100 degrees for a week straight. Going up to Seattle or Vancouver and cruising around Alaska into 60 and 70 degree weather, number one, that is the best break of a summer you could possibly have. But also just the experiences that you're going to get. 7-night cruises that go a round trip from Seattle or round trip from Vancouver. And then the Radiance of the Seas, if you see there, that does a northbound and a southbound cruise because you have the opportunity to tack on an additional cruise tour where you're going to take deluxe motor coaches and glass dome rail cars on the Alaska Railway up through Denali, the national park up there. Visit Mount McKinley or Denali there and see the peaks. And it's just, Alaska is truly a place that takes your breath away. And I guarantee that if you take the time and you have the opportunity to go and sail Alaska, you will have a different outlook on life in the end. It is truly the last frontier. West Coast Adventures are back on Royal Caribbean, sailing starting next month in Los Angeles. We're going to be cruising 3, 4, and 5-night getaways down to Ensenada and Cabo San Lucas and go over to Catalina Island, and even 7-night adventures that go to Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. These are beautiful ports of call, and these are specifically great for if you happen to have family on the West Coast, living in California or Nevada, Arizona. It's a nice, easy jaunt over to LAX on Southwest Airlines, and you're good to go. You're cruising in no time. So great adventures there on the West Coast and the Northeast. Okay, this is, to me, one of the best kept secrets in cruising. Sailing out of the northeastern part of the United States, Bayonne, New Jersey, New York, essentially. You can visit the city, you can hop on a ship, and it's not just going south down to the Bahamas and the Caribbean, but you can also go north during this time of year, September, October, November, and doing these Canada fall colors cruises. We call them the fall foliages cruises. Looking outside right now, all the leaves are changing. The leaves are starting to fall. It's really it's a spectacular time of year. But sailing and going into Canada and New England is just such a great change of scenery. It's a change of pace than your traditional cruising. So let's say you've done the Caribbean a million times and you're like, you know what, I just want to, instead of going to the beach every day, I want to eat chowder and lobster rolls, or I want to just relax and read some books and enjoy some beautiful weather. These Northeast sailings are stunning. And we have these out of Cape Liberty. We also sail ships out of Baltimore as well as Boston throughout the year. Asian adventures as well. We've got several options, sailing out of Shanghai, out of Hong Kong, out of Beijing, going over, throughout Korea, going throughout South Korea, Japan, and so on and so forth. So these, the opportunities are there. One quick little caveat on these. These are what we call a cultural immersive adventure or a cruise, where when you come on board the ship, you might be one of 150 Americans that are on board, and you're surrounded by the culture, but they are really unique experiences along the way. Those are the destinations, and I would be remiss to say that I can't forget to mention that we have been voted not just the best cruise line in the Caribbean, but the best cruise line overall for 18 consecutive years. Best sales and service over the course of 13 years, best private islands, best cruise line entertainment, and these are by the Travel Weekly Readers' Choice Awards. You might go, what's the Travel Weekly Readers' Choice Awards? What's Travel Weekly? This is actually the magazine. It's the #1 publication for travel advisors, for travel partners, for your travel agent. This is their #1 publication, and this is actually voted on by the travel agents. So by those that are booking the cruises, they're the ones that are voting us the best overall, just simply because of the experience that their clients, you yourself, are going to have on board our ship. So we're very, very proud of that as we move forward along the way. So I did want to open it up to some questions. I'm going to attempt, let's see if I can do this and see if I can find any questions. Oh, there's my face. I didn't know that I was on camera the entire time. Okay, I actually did. Let's see here. if I have, it doesn't look like I see any here. Nicole, if you happen to be on in the background and you got any questions, could you maybe ask me? If there's radio silence, I may just give it about 10 Mississippi and finish it up. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a text message. Maybe this is Nicole. We don't have any. I have done such an amazing job of answering all of your questions. I don't know about that. Okay. Well, that being said, I am just going to go to the next slide that says, thank you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Cruise Holidays in Kansas City. This is such a great organization. They're such a professional team here. Mark and Mimi are wonderful to begin with, but the travel professionals that they have here in the office are second to none. And they want to make sure that your experience and vacation and your travel is worry-free. You're going on vacation. You don't need to be worrying about all the little details. There are so many different changes in things literally by the day when it comes to the world of COVID that they have the answers for you. There's no need for you to be scouring the internet, blog sites. Oh, I read online, I need X, Y, and Z. No, contact the travel advisors here at Cruise Holidays, and they'll be able to answer those questions for you. They are your advocate. You're never going to pay extra by using a travel agent. And I tell you, Mark and Mimi, Cruise Holidays, they are part of this Travel Leaders Network. And with Travel Leaders, they are a huge consortia. They buy up tons of our staterooms and have those staterooms just specifically for you. And as our prices go up, their prices stay the same. So you're going to be saving hundreds and in some cases thousands of dollars versus what you would just book directly online. I don't think I was supposed to knock RoyalCaribbean.com, but the best deal here. All right. I still see no questions in chat. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you here. Thank you very much for joining me. Sometimes I feel funny doing these webinars because it's like I'm just talking on my own in some random office. But I believe that you're on the other side. Go enjoy lunch. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you on board our ships in the not too distant future. Oh, last thing, WOW sale. We should probably notice that. We have a WOW sale that starts today. It's the richest offer of the year. You can get hundreds of dollars in onboard credit, instant savings, everything along the way. And that goes through the weekend. So contact Cruise Holidays, 816-741-7417. I think I got that right. That's the number I call at least. But all right, now I'm going to hang up. Thank you, everybody. Have a great, great day.